9 years, one team. The Kansas City Chiefs have reigned supreme over the AFC West, but as 2025 dawns, their kingdom is under siege. Two teams are beating at the gates, while another is rising from that autumn wind.
Oh, really?
Will Kansas City maintain their throne, or will we crown a new champion? I'll give you every team's path to power. This is HillTimeSports. Super Bowls and deep playoff runs. What more could you ask for from a team led by Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? They showed their championship pedigree with an astounding 12-0 record and one-possession games. Their defense was elite, led by George Karlaftis, the ever-disruptive presence with 61 pressures and 8 sacks, and the phenomenal Chris Jones, 64 pressures and 6 sacks. Mahomes, without much support, showed why he's clutch. 5 fourth-quarter comebacks, 33 big-time throws, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, an overall passing grade of 85.4.
His mind to command, to control!
Not so fast, Jafar!
In that Super Bowl, Mahomes was sacked a career-high 6 times. The Eagles' unrelenting pressure didn't allow him to be his usual surgical self. Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco were both out. Pacheco returned, but wasn't 100%, which really hindered that running game. Their offensive line struggled is an understatement, especially on the exterior. Sumatea and Taylor allowed a combined 13 sacks, while Worthy had 5 drops and 639 yards, which is paltry. It was the once dominant tight end of the NFL who had only 3 touchdowns, showing an aging, diminished, fatigued player. The offense as a whole looked tired. Think of the 2019 Golden State Warriors. For all of their success, shorter off seasons, extra games will really take a toll on your body. That is why, while their overall offense adjusted EPA was in the top 10, they looked average in stretches. On the positive side of things, they did re-sign defensive leader Nick Bolton, but their offensive line took yet another hit when they traded Joe Thuney to the Chicago Bears. To fill that void, they signed Jalen Moore and controversially drafted Josh Simmons in the first round. In 2023, he was really good, but a significant injury made him miss 2024. He's got to stay healthy to show that he's not injury prone. Beyond the offensive line, they drafted Omar Norman-Lott and Jalen Royals, the wide receiver and defensive tackle, who could potentially give them some impact in year 1. But despite all the questions, this team still has one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game and one of the greatest coaches of all time in Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. This team could realistically win you 13 games. But with all the questions, I think somewhere closer to 10-7 might be their actual record in 2025. From the penthouse to the outhouse, the Las Vegas Raiders haven't won a division title since 2002. But their 2024 season wasn't all bad.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
They had a top 16 defense in yards allowed. Max Crosby, although he was hobbled by injuries, had a 74.3 PFF rating, 54 pressures, 8 sacks. Their receivers, despite horrid quarterback play, were actually pretty good. Jacoby Myers, 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 drops. But the real story of the Las Vegas Raiders is Brock Bowers. 112 receptions, nearly 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, and an 88.4 receiving grade, showing that he was the best tight end or receiver in that draft class.
You love me. You really love me.
The offensive line looked solid through part of the year, but other than that, same Raiders, different year. Quarterback has been a major hurdle after Josh McDaniels sent Derek Carr away, like another AFC West quarterback that Josh McDaniels sent away. Gardner Minshew, for all of his personality, had 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in only 10 games. 5 big-time throws. Aiden O'Connell wasn't very good, but their rushing attack was bad. All-time bad, maybe.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alexander Mattison had 420 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, forcing a meager 14 missed tackles. A far cry from the greats of the NFL. For the first time, though, I will say Raiders fans have something to be proud of. Pete Carroll brings a winning culture, a Super Bowl championship. Geno Smith provides some stability for that quarterback position. 4,300 yards, 21 touchdowns. Those interceptions are a little high with 15. They also signed Alex Kappa to shore up that offensive line, but their biggest move came in the draft at number 6 overall. Ashton Genty, the running back out of Boise State. The potatoes are coming home, Bobby Boucher. I mean, the chickens.
The chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher.
163 missed tackles last season. Nearly 2,000 yards after contact. I think that's for his whole career. This team looks like they're on an upward trajectory. Maybe 8 or 9 wins this game if they play their best football, but in reality, this is a team I don't trust. They could be 5-12 if they're not careful, especially with Mark Davis running the show. And at the front gates of the AFC Championship,
there will be no survivor.
The Chargers and the Denver Broncos look to storm the tower and grab that crown. But first, if you like what you're watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to keep up with that HillTimeSports. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before June of next year. And Denver, for the first time since Peyton Manning retired, you guys may have just found your franchise quarterback. Bo Nix struggled earlier in the season, including a 3-interception game, but from November on, the dude was on fire. 29 touchdowns, 3,800 yards, and 21 big-time throws. His best stretch, No turnovers in the last 4 weeks. The Denver defense in 2024, I have no words for them. They allowed 18.3 points per game. That's 3rd in the NFL, and had a league-leading franchise record, 63 sacks. How about that, Nick Bonito? 13.5 sacks and 57 pressures. Patrick Surtain II, won Defensive Player of the Year, had a coverage grade of 87.4, 4 interceptions, and a crazy 61.1 passer rating allowed.
Impressive.
But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows up in Colorado. There were some dark times. The team lacks offensive firepower, or at least they did in 2024. Javonte Williams had 500 yards and a mere 4 touchdowns. You guys needed a running back. And let's be honest, Courtland Sutton, although he performed decently over 1,000 yards, doesn't scare teams like a Rod Smith or a Demaryius Thomas did in their prime. Marvin Mims, for being a great stretcher of the field and a great speedy punt returner, had just over 500 yards. After finishing 10-7 and losing in the wild card round, this defense went out and just became even scarier, signing Taylor Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw from the 49ers. They added another pass catcher, Evan Ingram, to get down the middle of the field like Sean Payton likes, but they still need an outside pass catcher to stretch the field. I love the pick of RJ Harvey. He's going to be your number 1 back of the future, hopefully. He's blue collar. He can catch the ball. He lacks the burst though, but I think he'll be okay. J.K. Dobbins signed, but I just don't see him as a number one option, and I'll tell you why when I talk about the Chargers. Future me here, I forgot to mention the Denver Broncos picking up Jahdae Barron. He could play in the slot, has great footwork. Could this be the no-fly zone 2.0? We'll see. Overall, this is a team that can and will one day win the division. I'm thinking sooner rather than later. 13 wins is not out of the realm, but also 10 wins is not out of the realm either, if they don't shore up that wide receiver position. But just like the Denver Broncos, the Chargers are a very similar team and could also run away with this division.
Now, don't try to butter me up.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball, where they only allowed 17.7 points per game. That was first in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh loves to play defense, and he loves to run the rock. I'll tell you why they had problems last year. But first, let's talk about Justin Herbert. 3,870 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and 33 big-time throws.
Yeah, I'd cut back on that.
Talking about a dog out there. Ladd McConkey had himself a huge rookie season, scoring 7 touchdowns, 1,049 yards on 82 receptions. I got my handy-dandy notebooks. What you gonna say about that? Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt performed admirably. A 90.9 grade for Slater and continued dominance in a Pro Bowl season. Alt held up in his rookie season with a 94% pass block win rate. Their defense was elite, a negative .054 defensive EPA. James was an all-pro, an 80.5 overall grade, 15 pressures from that safety position, and it helps to only allow a 45% red zone touchdown rate. However, for all the excitement, just like the Denver Broncos, they lacked running. J.K. Dobbins, although finished with 905 yards, didn't really look like a number one running back. That's why he was shipped out. But let's be blunt about that interior offensive line, especially that center, Bozeman, who was 36th in the NFL. It's going to be up to Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh to get that running culture, which is why I love the pickup of Omarion Hampton. Blue collar, just like RJ Harvey, can pass catch, pass block, lacks burst, but he reminds me of a young Frank Gore. Not only that, they signed Super Bowl winning guard Mekhi Becton to shore up the interior. This is a team that can win the division this year with 13 wins also.
Every time it's different cards, he still wins.
And just like the Broncos, because they're so similar, can win 10 games if they're not careful. But what do you guys think? You think I'm being blasphemous here? Or do you agree? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to see more football analysis from HillTimeSports. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by June of next year. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.